Good evening and thank you for joining us today. We are Bold Business Consultants and tonight we will be consulting on the company Andrews to give you a comprehensive business analysis from 2019 to 2027. Andrews has been a strong company throughout the past 8 years and has dominated both market share and seen large profit margins. Today, you will be hearing from 5 team members in the Bold Business Consulting team. That is Jatara, our Principal Consultant, myself, Kate, a Senior Strategic Advisor, Jade, the Compliance Manager, Sephora, Data Analysis Manager, and Zoe, our Senior Corporate Advisor. Firstly, looking over the past 8 years, Andrew's strategy was to adopt a broad approach that could offer products to cater to all consumers. Andrew focused on 4 main sections, which is research and development, marketing, production, and finance. Through this strategy, they were able to create state-of-the-art products in both the high-end and performance sectors.
Thank you, Kate. Hi everyone, I'll be starting off with a brief overview on Andrews. Andrews joined the market in 2020 with a total of 5 products, 1 for each market segment. They've performed really well as it's one of the few companies that have managed to continuously produce a profit every year and launch a total of 8 products within the last 8 years. When Andrews first started in 2020, it produced its lowest profit of $630,000, along with low return on equity, return on assets, and return on sales. However, its financial state improved in 2021, as in that year, its profits increased to $2 million in 2000. However, on the other hand, within the same year, they had an emergency loan of $21,621,981. In 2022, Andrews introduced a new high-end product and a new performance product. These 2 products served as a wise decision for the company as both enhanced the company's sales and profits. As a result, Andrews produced its 3rd highest profit of $11,041,000 in 2022. In 2023, profit levels dropped down to $10,040,000, while remaining constant all the way to 2025. The driving contributing factor towards a decrease in financial performance was high variable costs. Moving into 2024, Andrews began investing in TQM programs, diminishing their R&D cycle time and variable cost components. In 2025, Andrews introduced another high-end product, which sold out in the very same year. So the strategy of Andrews to introduce high-end products is a wise decision that was meticulously implemented. The reason being that high-end consumers aren't price sensitive, therefore they result in producing greater profitability and return. In 2026, profit levels increased to $33,476,000, right up until 2027, where they produced a profit of $54,241,000. In 2027, high-end segments produced the 2nd and 3rd highest profitable products, indicating the successful implementation of cost leader with product lifestyle focus strategy. As shown on the graph, profit levels dropped in 2023, increased faintly in 2024, but continued to rise. This occurred as a result of investments in various programs which aided in reducing variable costs and caused an increase in profit from the year 2024 to 2027. Andrews invested $7.5 million on TQM programs in 2024, which reduced their R&D cycle time, material costs, and labor costs. They also efficiently invested $1.5 million per program, as any higher investment amount would have been resulted in a waste of money. Investing in employees was another successful investment. As visible on the slide, Andrews invested $5,000 in recruiting costs per person to hire the most skilled individuals and provided each employee with 80 hours of training every year from 2024 to 2027. These factors enhanced productivity index, reduced labor costs, and increased profits. Now I'll pass it back to Kate, who will discuss Andrews' strategies.
Andrew's goal was to never need an emergency loan and to try avoid short-term debt altogether. There was to be a heavy focus on automation in both the traditional and low-end sectors and heavily invest in marketing to promote the high-end and performance products. Over the years, it can be seen that Andrews has stayed consistent with its strategy by increasing automation every year on the low-end and traditional products, whilst also introducing new products into the high-end and performance sections. One product, Adam, was transitioned across from a high-end product to a traditional as the costs were too high to maintain a top quality product. There was one emergency loan of $21 million. However, this was the only one over 8 years. Another distinct factor with Andrews is the consistent spending into HR and training each year that helped keep the turnover rate of employees at 7%. TQM was also heavily invested in to help reduce R&D cycle time, which had a dramatic effect on their cycle time, which reduced it by 40% in 2025 to 2027. I'll now be passing you over to Sephora for your next section.
Thank you, Kate. Now I'll be talking about some of the mistakes that Andrews made. In the early rounds, Andrews brought in a new product but did not set capacity, and it affected their whole year. This mistake was made by human error, as they just forgot to input the capacity of the new product in the decisions for the year. Andrews was able to mitigate this mistake and ensure it never happened again because they learnt from their previous error. The company was also able to recover from this mistake by ensuring they input all necessary data the next round. Another place that Andrews could have potentially improved is how they had a very small capacity compared to their large production, which would have meant that they would have been spending extra on their labour costs. In the future, they could have increased their capacity so that they were not spending so much extra on second shift labour costs. As shown in the graph, Andrews did not start off with strong products in the first 3 years of their business, and only had a slight increase in these profits up until the final 2 years, where their profits increased dramatically. Andrews was also struggling with long-term debt throughout their years, which also had an effect on their overall profit. In the end, these low profits were turned into much higher profits, and Andrews was able to mitigate this mistake by bringing in new, more successful products. Now I'll pass on to Sephora, who will be talking about Andrew's ethical considerations.
Thank you, Jade. Research states only sustainable companies make choices for the benefits of its stakeholders. Andrews have exemplified this by sharing profit with shareholders on several occasions. Like in 2022, they paid a dividend of $1,422,000. Following year, they paid $3,118,000, and in 2026, they paid out a dividend of $4,431,000. Ethical workplaces educate and train employees to uphold knowledge and skills required. A major component of ethical practice is employee training. Andrews have incorporated employee training to ensure its staff have adequate information and knowledge to effectively carry out their job. Now I'll pass it over to Chitara, our principal consultant, who will discuss Andrews' status after the executive shakeup.
Thank you, Zoe. I will now conclude the presentation. Overall, Andrews was an extremely successful business, and by 2027, they had the highest closing stock price. They added multiple new and successful products throughout the years and were able to maintain a competitive market share on these products for their entirety. Andrews really became successful and the company to beat over the last 3 years due to their high profits and ethical strategies. On behalf of everyone here at Bold Business Consultants, we congratulate Andrews on their success and would like to thank you for your time and attention throughout this presentation. Thank you.